The mouth was twisted in an evil sneer. The lips curled like two brown worms. The long nose had gobs of green dripping from each nostril. A square patch of skin was missing just above the forehead. I could see gray skull bone in the hole. The whole face was creased and lined. The flesh was sickly green. The skin appeared to be peeling off of the face. Dark scabs bulged from the sunken cheeks. Black spiders appeared to crawl through the stringy yellow hair. Spiders poked out of the two ears. Yuck, I cried. Was I holding the scariest Halloween mask in the world? No. In the universe.
You can't scare me. Not with the basement of botany. Maybe a sentient dummy. Calling all creep.
Boo, dudes. Welcome to another installment of Calling All Creeps. This is a podcast that is about Goosebumps. I'm John Bon Jovi. I'm here with the band Whitesnake.
I lit on fire.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
Was that the band that, like, they had pyrotechnics in, like, a small club and, like, lit the whole place on fire? Was that White?
That was Great White.
That was Great White. Oh, different one.
Yeah.
You know what I always think about that death of that band? It's kind of
What's
like
that?
when you put fireworks inside the house in The Sims. And they basically did that in real life, and everybody died. It's really sad, though. I'm not making a joke. You laughed at it, listener, and you're an asshole.
Oh, my God. But you know what? Leave a comment and compliment us and give us 5 stars, and then we'll murder your ass.
Yeah.
It's called Justice. I hope you've heard of it.
Never heard of Justice.
Scoundrel.
Never heard of Justice.
Anyway, Dave, today is a special day. It's a very nice day here on the East Coast. The Yeast Coast.
Because everybody
if you don't wash your nethers.
is That's a better joke. I was going to talk about how everyone's baking bread in quarantine.
Oh, they are.
I don't know.
You know what?
Yeah. Like,
I was going to... Nope, go ahead.
Are you baking bread?
I'm not baking bread.
Okay. I feel like
I was going to impugn people who post the pictures, but you know what? Who fucking cares? Whatever it takes to get through the day.
Yeah. I mean, they're like, well, my plants are just plants, I've realized. That's the thing. Like, millennials, we went from plants to baking bread.
Yeah, so we could put avocado on it and charge people $12 for it, right, Dave?
Pretty much. High five on that one. Basically, I feel like all people in this generation are just, like, finding things they like that are, like, the background characters in medieval movies. Soon we're going to be, like, churning butter and, like, shoveling shit for fun and putting it on Instagram. Anyway, Isaac's here.
Hey, guys.
No, it's not. It's not Isaac. It's the band Rat.
Oh, yeah.
That's even better. I appreciate that.
You're the band Wasp.
That...
They had a song called Fuck Like a Beast. Which is,
Did they?
I think so, which is something that Isaac loves to do. Isaac, talk about how you fuck.
Oh, I've always considered myself. It's always been more of a passion rather than like a career. It's really just been a thing that I've put a lot of my emotion and thought into. It's kind of really how I get through the day. Yeah, penis is really what I meant.
You put a lot of penis into it.
Your bald penis. Isaac, you are back for Haunted Mask 2. You were here for Haunted Mask 1 famously. Listener favorite. And
I appreciate
thanks for coming back.
It's really good to be back. That first book is, it ends on a cliffhanger. It's really set up for a sequel, and that cliffhanger is, not addressed at all. But it's a book more or less that we got here, and it's a real pleasure to be back. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, how did they resolve getting that mask off Carly Beth's brother, right? That was the
never even part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Also, you're a ghost because we killed you.
You killed
a
me.
podcast.
Oh, a dude 312 or whatever.
Which I legitimately did not know was my name. I just did it through iTunes, and apparently that was the thing I created in iTunes in 8th grade.
I love it. It's beautiful.
It's good. It's great.
It is what it is.
It sure is, and what it is awesome. But we're here together, of course.
Yes.
To tackle The Haunted Mask 2. I know what you thought. The first book, classic. It's a legend.
It is a classic.
It's one of the best. And after you're done reading it, you think, how is R.L. Stine ever going to compete with this? And the answer is, he's not.
Gave up from the start.
He's not even going to try.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a magical conversation between R.L. Stine and himself in this book where he is somehow trying to rewrite the book that already happened, but specifically say that it's different, and it just makes it a pile of nonsense.
Yeah. It is the same exact framework.
Yeah. So many scenes just end by the main character being like, I don't know, I'll just go to sleep.
Yeah.
The fact, I mean, and I know he does, spoiler, get very old. He does solve a lot of problems with naps, which I admire.
Sure.
Hey,
it's just
during quarantine, it's kind of the go-to.
Yeah.
Oh, hell's yeah.
And in this book, they solve no problems. In life, they solve some problems.
Oh, yeah?
Naps,
right? Do solve problems. At least some of them. Not the, the more existential ones that we've been battling with recently.
Not the ones that matter, but like if you feel
those don't get
tired, or if you feel hungover,
or grumpy,
take a little nap.
Yep.
Yeah, you're good, like a little baby.
Headaches.
Headaches. I did that a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Perfect.
See? We're already solving problems here on this podcast.
Is great.
You heard it here, folks. Take a nap. Save your life.
All right. So Haunted Mask 2. Chuck and Urkel's return.
Yeah. Characters I did not remember from the first book.
Same. And we'll talk about that. But this, interestingly, I forget Haunted Mask 1, was that printed in October? Because this one was, which I think is a good alignment of schedules, right? If you're going to print a Halloween book, do it in October.
This was on purpose for sure. I think he spent so much time making sure this came out in October, he was like, fuck, I didn't even write it. And then later got back to it.
Pulled out the manuscript from the first one.
Yeah. Changed the names.
But some of these sound like inside jokes, and some of them will be. Go back if you haven't listened to our original Haunted Mask episode, and you'll get the main plot. If not, you can read Haunted Mask 2, and R.L. Stine will give it to you in like one paragraph. Right. And not even like in context of what's going on. He basically gives you like a Wikipedia quote. This book was, the original one was September of 1993, 1 month off.
Okay, well, close enough. Got us in the mood.
But anyway, this book, of course, will do the time and place. October of 1995. The top song was Fantasy by Mariah Carey.
Oh, great song.
Do you know that one?
I don't know that song. I don't know that song at all.
I can't conjure it at the moment, but rest assured there was like a high part and like a... Yeah. I know it, though. I've definitely heard it. I want to do like, get best of me, and you just keep on touching my boobies. Oh, why? But that's a totally different song.
Oh, I know this.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. All right. So we just needed to know because it's next month's top song, too.
Jesus.
This is very surprising, the top movie. It kind of blew my mind because there are other movies that are like cult classics and some that are beyond cult classic that were beaten by this fucking movie. The top movie, October of 1995, was Get Shorty.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah. Oh, sorry. I like that movie a lot. That's Barry Sonnenfeld.
It's a good movie, but it beat Toy Story.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Though Toy Story was still the number one movie that year, though, right?
I don't think so.
I think Toy Story was the number one movie of 95.
Maybe top grossing?
Yeah. But at that time.
Not in those specific
right in
weeks.
That month.
It never won a week, Toy Story.
That's probably true. Shit,
it's crazy.
That's crazy.
It was never the top one, but it was a consistent. It's because, movies used to stay in the theater longer.
Get Shorty's great. Everybody should watch Get Shorty. They should. There's kind of that run of like 3 Elmore Leonard adaptations in the 90s of Get Shorty, Jackie Brown, and Out of Sight, and like all 3 of those movies are fucking amazing.
Did we mention that Isaac is a film guy?
Yeah, sorry. It's kind of all I ever have to offer to a conversation. I was 6 when this was actually happening, so I don't actually remember much of it.
Well, I also added some different films too, because you are a film guy, and I figured that would be interesting. So this is one, talk about cult classics. Mallrats was also released this month.
Nice.
So some Kevin Smith. And also one movie that I've never seen, but only know by the soundtrack, which fucking rules, and the posters, Dead Presidents.
What's Dead Presidents? Is that the... is that like the Vietnam movie where the guys end up robbing a bank?
It's the one that has a really cool poster with like the it kind of looks like the face from,
I think that's
hold
like
on.
Lorenz Tate. I might be totally off on this.
Yeah, it's a soldier, Anthony Curtis, returns to his Bronx
Hell
home
yeah.
after a nightmarish tour in Vietnam.
Dude, that movie is fucking hardcore.
All I know is that the main song is Walk On By Isaac Hayes, which is one of my
Hells
favorite
yeah.
songs of all time. That's
Yeah,
one of
it's
the
a good
best
song.
songs ever. So let's go into the time and place, events that happened there, which I didn't just Google while Isaac was reading the book. On October 2nd, the British band Oasis released their second studio album, What's the Story, Morning Glory, and sold 347,000 copies in the first week.
And thus Wonderwall was born.
That's right. And then many years later, Twitter exploded with the meme, "Anyway, here's Wonderwall."
Right.
Yeah.
And we were all better for it.
This is
Acoustic
the genesis
guitars.
of that.
Acoustic guitars in colleges everywhere cried out
That's
on
right.
October 2nd, yearning. They all got guitar boners.
So what was the song before that? What was the song that every asshole would play before Wonderwall?
Deep Purple's
Smoke on
Smoke
the
on the Water. Yeah.
That's a big change.
Either that. maybe
Anyway, here's Smoke on the Water.
Sound of Silence, maybe?
Ooh, yeah, maybe
Sure.
like a Simon and Garfunkel something.
Yeah.
I think people would do that.
In a certain like cul-de-sac of, like indie folks at that time, maybe like Creep by Radiohead came out.
Ooh, yeah,
a year
lame ass
prior.
college boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blackbird.
Oh,
Blackbird,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
was-
was annoying as shit when people
That
play
was
that song.
probably it. It was probably
Yeah.
Blackbird.
Yeah, that song
That's
is still
true.
kind of that. So that's a great answer.
Yeah, that is. Once that ascending melody starts, you're like, I'm out. I gotta
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
You're like, cool. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on October 3rd, the next day, former NFL running back, broadcaster, and actor O.J. Simpson was found not guilty.
And
of the
rightly
murder.
so.
Yeah. But then went
The
to
glove
jail
didn't
later.
fit.
Yeah. That was a huge deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a huge deal. Dude getting away with murder, or I don't know. Should I not be? No, yeah. I mean,
Yeah. It
Isaac-
doesn't happen publicly that much. You know?
Isaac, I just want to let you know that the court said he was not guilty, which means
That's true.
in the eyes of the world, he was not guilty.
and God. Yeah. In the eyes
Yeah.
of the world and the government and God, he is.
Yeah, because yeah, he swore on a
he's an innocent
Bible.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing
That's
what
like-
that can do.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like me swearing on The Hobbit. Anyway, so that happened. I think I talked about this before, that I remember sitting around like portable radios with the lunch aides during spring break, listening to the trial updates to figure out if he was guilty or not. And of course, like I was in, I don't even know what this, 1995. Who the fuck
Yeah.
knows? I was 7, so like, who knows what was actually happening?
Oh, yeah, I
when
was 4. I wasn't even 6.
yeah.
I was trying to do the math. I was like, Isaac was an 89 baby?
No, my brother was born in 89.
Okay.
So, usually I have some interesting facts about the books. This book was reprinted 3 times, same as always.
Yeah.
The mask was transformed into an ogre mask in the second Goosebumps movie. Instead of being an old man, they decided to make it something interesting. Also,
That's a good way to describe it.
This book retcons a lot of information from The Haunted Mask 1, but is also retconned itself in a later book called The Scream of the Haunted Mask, which takes place this same time during this book. So he went back and retconned this entire story later.
Wait, it takes place like Back to the Future 2 style? Like it's just like at the same time, just from a different point of view?
No, it just overrides this one. I actually don't know if Scream of the Haunted Mask is the same characters, but it's
But this
basically...
is such an important text.
It is
so
sacred.
much plot and development.
Scream of the Haunted Mask takes place a year the next Halloween after the first book, which is the same Halloween that this one takes place in. So.
Right, that's true.
So much later, R.L. Stine kind of went back and overwrote this book.
It's probably a good call. Smart move, man. Trust your
Probably.
gut.
Like we say, it's not that R.L. Stine, like, if we said, hey, this one's kind of weak, he wouldn't just be like, fuck you, this is my life. I love this book. This is like, I'm going to bat for it. He's just kind of like, yeah, whatever, dude. I just kind of like threw it out there. He knows. So him being able to like look back and be like, where should I start the Haunted Mask book that I need to write again? Of course he's going to pick this time because this was just, he's like, he probably doesn't care about any of this. So
Yeah.
And other than that, all of the really important stuff that we talked about last time stands the same. He still wants a Haunted Mask movie, let alone the Goosebumps movie. He thinks a standalone Haunted Mask would really, do well, and that's his true desire even more than the movie that came out, which I think it would
he
work.
knows the first one is great and this one's garbage.
Yeah. And if you watch the episode fucking rips and is awesome.
Yeah.
So if you give creative license to somebody to really, dig into the source material, there's enough there that it's fun.
I have a question for you guys. Where do you think The Mask, the movie, fits in this series of haunted masks? Is that a haunted mask?
I have some information on that, so if it's too boring, somebody stop me. But
Ooh, Dave, you're smoking. I would never.
I have no information. I just wanted to say that.
It was great.
It
was great.
Did I send that to you this morning?
What's that? No.
So we're on FaceTime right now, but I wanted to share this.
Dave is showing us a face covering, as we should all be wearing right now if we go outdoors.
Do your civic duty.
That's right. Be socially responsible. And it says The Mask.
It has the logo.
In the logo. Yeah,
for the movie,
in
The Mask. So you can purchase these at Patty LaPel on Instagram. You can go PATTILAPEL. Yes. I'll post it.
I imagine the link between the Jim Carrey, Jamie Kennedy franchise of The Mask would be that the weird, creepy man in the cape featured very importantly and very uniquely in both of these books is the gangster villain from the first Mask film. I imagine that guy has had a hard go of it since Cameron Diaz left him, and he's, now he is trying to make better masks than the one that ruined his life.
Yeah. Is the villain... Is that the same guy who's the Scarecrow in the Batman movie? No. I'm conflating things. Okay. But I do remember when Milo put on the mask and then bit that guy's dick off.
I'm glad you remembered his name was Milo.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Peter Green is the person who played him. I know this because he is well known for being Zed in Pulp Fiction.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But it's funny because he lives in Montclair, New Jersey, which is nearby, and used to come into the Apple store when Matt and I worked there. And when I did business, he would come over and we would work with them. And he'd be like, yeah, I know, everyone bothers me. Everybody knows me from Pulp Fiction. And, like, there's a couple other movies. He's in, like, Under Siege, Blue Streak. And
wait, so
he's totally in Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence.
Yes, he is.
He got his dick blown off in 2 different movies? Is that his thing?
In the Mask
kind of,
and in Pulp Fiction.
And I remember the conversation I had with Peter Green was, and he was like, yeah, and I'm just like, nah, to me, you're always the bad guy from The Mask. Is the conversation I had
in the
with
eye
him.
by Jim Carrey.
It's just kind of like the, who's the bald doctor from ER?
George Clooney.
No, Noah Wiley. It's not Noah Wiley.
Wait, who's
wait,
Noah
it is.
Wiley? Oh, it's the other handsome one.
Yeah.
Okay. Glad we could support you with dead silence after your joke, Isaac.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because I talked to...
Deep cuts only.
He came into the Apple store as well, and everybody's just like, yeah, everybody knows me from ER. And I was just like, I watched an episode of The X-Files 2 weeks ago where you ate people's cancer. And it was just like, well, that's a deep cut, but yeah, thank you.
That's great.
And I'm like, that's how you learn Scully has cancer, because they don't know why the cancer monster, vampire guy, is trying to eat her. Anyway, spoiler, sorry.
All right, this shitty book, let's do it.
Ugh.
Bye, Boo Dudes.
Yeah, there it is. That's the book.
Yeah.
I want to start off, and maybe I'm giving too much credit here. Because I don't remember a lot of that first book. But reading the opening chapter, in which I had such a insufferable main character to listen to his inner monologue as he tried to have a conversation with the reader, when that chapter ends with him seeing Carly Beth and like recognizing her, that is the most emotion that was elicited out of me in this entire book. I was like, oh, hey, a person who is somehow more enjoyable than this dude, because this dude is even shittier than Carly Beth.
Well, Carly Beth was redeemable. She was like a normal girl. You actually felt for her because she was being bullied, and she's fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with her. She was just being tortured ceremoniously. And we do find out that these are the guys who inflicted that psychological damage in book one.
Her dipshit friends. And I don't know, it just felt like season 2 of The Leftovers. Like you're with a side character and all of a sudden they cross paths with the main character that you know, and I'm like, oh, cool, and then nothing lived up to that.
Yeah.
The only thing that's nice is that we get to see that Carly Beth, our main girl, is doing well. Right. So she's not scared. She ain't scared of shit now.
She's a bad bitch.
She's even I don't know, more admirable now.
Yeah. She's just walking around with her plaster Paris head that her mom made her. Her mom apparently has found her muse and is only making paper mache heads of her daughter continuously for a year, and makes her like bring it into school and shit. And
I think that she wanted to bring it into school, which is sweet. You know, she and her mom are close. She supports her. She's not embarrassed by it.
I almost took this as she thought ahead and sort of like she took it with her in case she would be
sick pun
teased by these guys.
Right.
Yeah, no pun intended. Because, she's tortured every day, whatever. And even though she had this moment of growth in the previous book, still she's, subject to be victim. Yeah, so she brought it and she pulled it off, and she ended up... it's insane that Steve and Chuck have shown no growth despite what happened to them in the previous book. And so they go on to Steve's a piece of shit. He like wants to hit kids and stuff, and then he's like, oh, let me torture, and Chuck too, they're both terrible, and they're like, oh, let's go scare Carly Beth fucking again, and she's ready. She's got the head, and she like pretends it falls off, and they get scared because they're the worst, and she's great.
Yeah, and they deserve it. Yeah.
The thing, too, is that in the book, they say that they haven't scared her and they've left her alone for a year. But they're like, it's been a year. Let's fuck her up again.
Yeah.
And it's tough to get behind them because they did so many awful pranks in the original book that we say, like, go way too far. But the only one they remind you of is when they made her eat a worm.
Yeah, which is enough to be like, these guys are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a psychopathic move.
It's fucked up. The birds outside agree.
Yeah, loud birds here. I hope you guys enjoy the ambiance.
It makes you seem it's like a relaxation podcast too. But
yeah.
Also, the pranks haven't stopped because Steve has set a squirrel loose in the girls' locker room.
It's fucked up.
And
that's right.
Gets caught. So now his choice, he gets to be punished by being the coach for the first grade soccer team.
Yeah.
Which this central premise, it feels like a fucking like Seinfeld bit, like someone's butler for a day. Like, this is the dumbest setup. And who would leave a 12-year-old responsible for 6-year-olds?
This is basically like, you're in trouble. Pick one of these Will Ferrell scripts to live out.
Yeah, because the other one is absolutely, it's physically impossible, and nobody would sign off on this, even in the 90s, which is blow up all of the basketballs that the school owns by mouth. You can't even fucking do that. You need a needle to go in the fucking hole.
Well...
Yeah,
everybody,
that's nonsense.
Everyone calls Steve Needlemouth at school.
Yeah, and what a pervert to like. He's like, let me mess with the girls in the locker room, and he like releases his weasel or whatever. What a psycho.
They are gross little boys, but also there are these like odd couple of chapters where like they are straight up traumatized by the experiences of this last book, and when they then run into Cardi B, like, also she is traumatized by this last book, and it's like they're all trying to play pranks on each other, but just kind of every aspect of the conversation are people with like absolute terror behind their eyes while they're all trying to seem like they're super fucking chill.
Yeah, which I guess it's kind of a good way of describing middle school.
Yeah, and they misremember a lot of the original plot points. Like, they know that the mask was scary and it scared them, but they completely forgot the point where the fucking, like, her plaster Paris head comes to life and talks to them.
Yeah, it is, like, selective memory to block some shit out.
So for people who didn't read the original one, basically, like, she gets the mask, she puts it on, you put it on 3 times, it sticks to your head. She goes to scare Chuck and Steve because they're bad people to get revenge. It gets stuck on her face. The only way to get it off is with a signal of love. Luckily for her, her mom made her head out of plaster of Paris. She brings it back. It comes to life. She gets it, and the mask leaves. But all the masks fly and chase her. But she scares them away.
And it's that the mask is in fact not haunted. It is a scientist trying to make beautiful faces who ended up making super ugly faces, which was the dumbest part of that last book and seems to be the only thing they continued into this one.
Yeah, it's an explanation that actually provides no explanation, because it just invites more questions than it actually answers. I mean, it is in effect haunted because it's like, I don't know, it must be cursed or something weird. Like,
they fly.
Yeah, yeah, and they like groan and stuff.
Yeah, well, I groan, but I don't fly. That's how I know I'm not haunted.
Yeah. So they just to advance this terrible plot. They get scared by Cardi B, and they're extremely dumb and sensitive about their hypermasculinity. I just want to read this quick part on page 18 where Sabrina says, "You guys scare pretty easy." "We weren't scared, really," Chuck insisted. "We were just playing along." I wanted to change the subject. The girls would talk all day and night about how dumb Chuck and I were, if we let them. I didn't want to let them. It was like, all right, you fucking got tricked. Like, you know.
Yeah. And he also has that whole thing where he keeps kind of repeating this mentality of, she didn't want me to be scary. And it's just so creepy, where he's just like, she didn't tell me because she didn't want me to be scary. Yeah. And it's so strange and so seems to be tied in to his dick. And he is just like, it is all focus and all manhood and
massively insecure.
Himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially because I don't know if you guys remember feeling like a different grade in school, if anything happened to you from like a lower grade, like they were below you. That's when a year difference was huge back in elementary school and everything. So he's teaching these first graders soccer, his team, the Hogs, which I love the detail that they got to pick their name, and they picked the Hogs. And these kids just fucking kick his ass.
They kick his ass every day. That's literally, it's so funny you say that because that's what I wrote in my notes is like every time he goes back to practice, I skim over it and I write like Steve gets his ass kicked again and ...
Marnie hangs from his back, just jumps up and chokes him and rips his clothes. I
want to point out that there is a kid named Duck, and again they specify he's called Duck because he quacks all the time.
I mean, come on.
It is like
best character. He
just could. It's not even like he had big feet or some shit. Like it's I don't know. Duck, he quacks all the time. Fuck it.
Yeah, but he's in first grade. That's fine. My favorite thing is that he watches hockey with his dad.
Right, so he just fights.
So he thinks that fighting is a part of sports. So, like, literally, once they start kicking the ball, this kid just drops gloves and just starts fighting all the kids on the field. Best character in Goosebumps.
Doesn't he,
ever.
like, give an edge spear to Steve every day? Who is that?
He pretty
People
much
keep,
does.
like, hitting him in the stomach.
Yeah, you know it's right in the dick. You know how all four first graders are. They bend down. He's getting his ass kicked. So he decides, I'm going to get revenge. I need to be super scary. Wait a second. Didn't I shit my pants last Halloween with Cardi B? So he steals the head and is throwing it back and forth with Urkel and says, tell me where you got that mask.
Right.
She won't because it's haunted.
Yeah, she's trying to look out for him even though he's a scoundrel. Sorry.
And the sequence of them stealing this papier-mâché head is also, like, fucked up. Like, she's like crying and chasing after him, being like, my mother made this for me. And they're just like, no. And it is so deranged.
Yeah.
Like, he really makes an effort to make you hate this character. And yes, also in the way he writes the character, but I guess we can get into that later. But
no, you're right.
Yeah, Steve sucks.
Yeah. And
Chuck
he has to say everything twice.
He does.
Everything that he wants to say, he has to say it, and the next sentence he says it again.
Yeah, it's so... I have a bunch of those in my bad writing. It drives me fucking insane.
Yeah, it's absurd.
This book is tedious to read.
It is.
It's brutal.
It's a lot of filler.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it is a lot of filler. Like, speed read this bad boy. So she ultimately tells them where she got the mask. Which is like not a secret. It's like barely a secret, right? Like if you live in this town, like you can fucking guess where it came from. But she tells them, against her better judgment because they're being dumb assholes as usual. Then Steve goes and gets his ass kicked at soccer practice again. Then they go to the party store. Steve and Chucky Boy. Which he does call him Chucky Boy in this book at one point. It's terrible.
Hot.
So the store's closed, right? And there's just another example of how irredeemable
for good.
Steve is. Yeah, it's closed for good. Like nobody's in there, doesn't seem to be occupied at all anymore. And Chuck is trying to make him feel better despite this, right? Because his plan, by the way, is like I don't know if we've already said this, but he wants to scare the kids as like revenge for kicking his ass every day.
Yeah.
Right.
And at one point Chuck suggests like, well, let's like kick him in the head. And Steve's like, well, let's I think it would be better if we just scared them. So
and yes, wait, hold on. We should specify, yes, they kick his ass every day. They beat the shit out of him. They steal his stuff. They also had the forethought to make a concrete ball.
Oh, yes.
And paint it so believable enough. This is like Ashton fucking Kutcher. Like, they painted a whole ball and he like wound up to kick it to try to prove to these 6-year-olds who they're 6. They won't even remember this happened.
Yeah.
Like, this means nothing to them. And I imagine should be in the hospital.
Yes.
Like kicking concrete.
Yeah, it would be like the sacrifice scene in Midsummer where like fucking bone is protruding out of your calf.
Yeah, and his leg is shattered, and then the kids just like pass out a hammer and they just slowly walk over to him.
Watch Midsummer.
And then the kids
watch Hereditary.
Oh, I love both, but Then the kids, it's like the same thing where they painted like a fucking tunnel on the side of the wall.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He's like, heading home, and just
The
runs
soccer
right
ball
into
says
it.
Acme, and they're like, oh, that's weird. So when Chuck goes to the store, and Chuck and Steve go to the store and it's closed, Chuck's trying to make him feel better. So he says, maybe we can make a scary mask. Chuck suggested, out of paper mache and stuff.
And he's like, you stupid fucking idiot.
And here's Steve. I didn't even bother to answer him. Chuck is a good guy, but sometimes he has the dumbest ideas ever thought up by a human. It's like, what a piece of shit.
He's fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
And this is in the general vicinity of the time when he comments how good of a friend Chuck is.
Yeah. And he says it in the same sentence. He's like, Chuck's a good guy, but he's a fucking idiot.
It's insane.
So they notice that the Bilko double doors are open, or they're there for they were open for the store.
Yeah.
So they go through the trapdoor, those open up ground floor doors that lead to the basement, and they go down there, and there's a bunch of boxes and stuff that belong to the former party store, and they start going through them, right? Because they're like, maybe we can find some masks and steal them.
And Chuck, I think, puts up a decent... yes, he does go along with it, but he is like, dude, this is a bad idea many times.
He does, which is interesting and makes his character very nuanced, because this is where he draws the line at, you must subscribe to
Terrorizing
capitalism.
people.
However, if you want to hurt kids, maybe you should.
I'm still on that page. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just go to Kmart. And he's just like, fuck Kmart. And that's the only point where I was like, yeah, Steve, fuck Kmart. Other than that, I have
That's some nuance for
all
him.
opposing views.
Yeah, so they open a bunch of boxes, and eventually they find some spooky masks. And there's some fun description. Whenever a mask is described in this book, which...
Yeah, they're gross and fleshy and warm.
Yeah, and this is kind of fun because RL describes a series of masks. So he just has some fun describing different masks. And he settles on one. It's like an old guy with a snaggle tooth and spiders in his nose and a ball sack for an eye and stuff. And they decide on that one. But then there's some shuffling upstairs. And a guy in a cape comes down, and
and Chuck bails.
Chuck bails, and the doors close behind him, baby. So Steve gets caught by this guy, and the guy is the guy who owns the store, and he's got the pencil mustache, and he wears a cape. It's insane. And apparently scientists wear capes.
Well, he's very Dracula too, and
Well,
even
they're
to
all
the point
heroes.
where he's like, "Yeah, so a fucking vampire found me."
It is
to the
basically
point
a
where-
vampire.
Yeah,
And he's like, all right, well, you're in my shop, so rather than call the police, I'll be nice and I'll just call your parents. And Steve makes a run for it. And
I kind of like that he just runs.
Yeah.
He's like, I can fucking beat this guy. I can get out of here.
and it's also an honest kid's reaction, right? I might try to run. I
Exactly.
don't want my parents to be called.
Yeah.
So if you can get away, then do it.
Did you guys ever steal shit
No.
when you were kids?
I don't think so.
Or now, I guess? No.
I don't think I did.
you stole my heart.
Oh,
Meow.
yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I never
don't-
really stole much shit.
Yeah, but I've also, if you think about it, stolen shit from abandoned places, which is kind of like this.
Yeah.
Throughout my.
Yeah, that was... I trespassed at a lot of places.
Yeah.
Agree.
Sure.
That was my adolescent crime.
Yeah, that's kind of the
Of
big
choice.
crime here. Now that you guys put it that way, it's
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes, this place, there's nothing here. The shop is defunct.
Weird New Jersey was
Yeah.
young.
Yeah.
Went a lot of places.
Yeah,
that
that's
cops
right. Yeah.
Now patrol. But yeah.
Yeah.
No, I never. Why? Do you have a good story about shit you stole?
No, I was just wondering if you guys stole shit. I
You
never
think we're
really stole
stealers?
shit.
You think we're stealers? You call us bad people? You think I'm a
Maybe
Chucker
you're
and
just thrill
Urkel?
seekers. You're just
Does
thrill
Dave look
seekers.
like a stealer?
Do I look like one who steals?
Do you guys remember those things? They were called chromies. They were the little it was a cap to
I remember.
a bike tire, the air tube
Yeah.
nozzle. They would you could get anything. It was like a skull or dice, and you could screw them on as the cap on your bike.
Cool.
I had friends who they called it collecting chromies, but they just stole them off of other people's bikes.
That sucks.
That was a big thing.
It was so shitty.
I remember 5th grade, people used to do that too. But the kids I knew, they would steal them off of cars. They would steal air caps off cars. That was like their
or
cool
cars,
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
and I was like, why
normal
would you
air
do that?
caps? Not even the
Yeah, they
chromies?
were like plastic air caps, and then they would find some chrome ones from like good cars. But
weird.
Yeah. It was weird as shit.
yeah, it was a weird thing. And it's crazy that traveled, because you were like hours away. So that must have gone.
I'm still in cultural New Jersey. I'm in a section of Pennsylvania that just is New Jersey, so it
is. But I'm saying
not
like
too different.
But I'm saying like that seems like something that would just be, especially pre-internet, like 5th grade, that would be like local to a school or something.
No, that's
it's
true.
Crazy
Something
that
kind
was
of
like
niche.
Yeah. Anyway, this book
Lots
sucks.
of white trash in my area. This book is terrible.
Yeah, so let's rush through it here. So he doesn't tell Chuck when he meets back up with him outside after he successfully escapes, but he steals the mask, goes home, like almost tries it on, then doesn't, has like dinner and gets his ass kicked again, and then
he's so shitty to his mom too.
Yeah, he sucks to his mom.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
There's so many
blows her off.
Yeah, and especially in the beginning when he's leaving, she's like, "Hi, are you here?" And he's like, "I'm not
Fuck
even
you."
gonna answer her because then she'll tell me to do something." So I just ignored her.
Yeah,
and he does that like 3 times.
Yeah,
and she just wants to feed him a homemade meal.
Yeah, and she got like special black and white cookies for him from his favorite bakery or whatever, and he tells
Mom
her to
went
fuck
to
off.
Corrado's. Yeah, it's shitty.
And he does put on the mask, and it pretty immediately, unlike Carly Beth's experience where she could at least take it off once, it pretty immediately adheres to his face and starts to change his body, and obviously his face and his voice, so similar to what Carly Beth experienced. And because it's an old man mask, he starts to feel like an old man. Takes him forever to move around. He trips over his fucking balls and stuff, and he is no longer fertile. And he's
very sensitive nipples.
Very, very sensitive. Yeah, he grows a diaper. So he doesn't know how to resolve this, and he like sort of panics, but then he goes to sleep, which is insane.
Yeah.
He just goes to sleep.
He
starts solving problems.
So insane. And he wakes up and he still has the fucking mask on. That didn't solve anything.
Well, no, it doesn't, because he wakes up. No, he dreams that he dreamt.
Yeah.
That
it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a dream that he dreamt that all of this never happened.
Yeah, it was a nice
that he
waste
never went
of
to the
4
place.
pages.
Yeah.
And and then he's like, well, I'll just own this, I guess, for the time being, and then eventually I'll find Carly Beth and see what she could do. And
well, that's also where he does the first time he tries to reach out to Carly Beth, because it takes him far too long to think of Carly Beth as this situation is progressing.
Yeah.
And it's like, she was like, those masks I got from that place were evil and did terrible things. And now it's stuck on his head, and he's just like, I don't understand what's happening. And then eventually he's like, maybe Carly Beth would kind of know what's, and it's like, bitch, she told you. Like, she told you very specifically that this was going to happen.
But that is a human thing, right? Like people who have like ghost experiences, and then they're like, there are no ghosts. Like, like you want at all times for everything to make sense. And I think it is the human condition to be like so fucking stubborn. Like it would take, I don't even know. Like some people will fucking go to their grave after several life-changing experiences unchanged.
Yeah. We always lie to ourselves first.
Yeah. So, but he is also a dumbass, and your point is very valid.
Because the whole reason he has this mask is because he invited the Hogs to the scariest place in town, which I think is from the last book, because
the mansion.
Keep in mind, it's the Carpenter Mansion, which of course is, I believe, to be a John Carpenter reference. It's gotta be. It's Halloween. Come on. And he's not going to get there because he can't even get to, like, the desk. But he calls Cardi B on the phone. Her dad picks up, and he's got this old man voice. He's like, "Are you a teacher? You sound like an old man." And he's like, "No, I'm here to call Carly Beth. Like, I can't hear you.
I'm just her
Are you a
friend."
teacher?" He's like, and he's just like, "Listen, pedophile, don't call my fucking daughter ever again."
Yeah, I literally have written down, think he's a fucking pedo.
Yeah. He's like, is Carly Beth there? I just want to hear her voice. It's like, is this who? What?
I need to talk to her about what she's wearing.
Yes.
So that doesn't work, but he does have to reveal himself to his parents at this point because there's nothing else he could do. So he put it off for a while, and then he goes downstairs to see his parents, and his dad likes it. He's on board. He's like, hell yeah, you look fucking cool.
And his mom wants him to go back to being a hobo in blackface.
Yeah, it is very problematic.
God. It's fucked up because, like, he was a hobo in the last book, we commented, but it's just like, yeah, so she rubs like dark charcoal all over my face.
Yeah, it is fucking brutal. Straight up blackface.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And so here's where we arrive, is that Steve goes to meet the kids at the fucking Carpenter Mansion under the guise of taking them trick-or-treating, but actually to scare them. And what happens is the kids just see him as an old man and try to help him.
It's kind of a great twist.
It is really great.
He's like, so much of this book is like, first graders are fucking animals. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
They are animals. And then they're like, oh, an old man with his skin falling off of his face. Like, let us help him.
It is a chef's kiss because it is truly like, well, the problem's you, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, you know,
if everyone you meet is an asshole, maybe you're an asshole.
Yep.
No need to look within. So
they help him over to Cardi B's house because she's having a Halloween party.
Right. Yeah. And, eventually he gets the attention of Carly Beth, and she explains the whole situation. She says, like, look, what worked for me is you need a symbol of love. So, like, can you think of anything? And he thinks of the black and white cookies that his mom got him that he refused. So he's like, maybe if I go, like, eat a bunch of stuff, the mask will fall off.
Yeah.
And his dog ate them. Womp, womp. So he hugs the dog a bunch.
Yep, a dog that's a black terrier, so he's still learning some new dogs. Yeah. Good for RL.
It's true.
He's mixing it up.
The funny thing, too, is like, well, the dog has always been there for you, and the dog obviously loves you, and, like, because of the cookies and stuff. He holds the dog to him, and turns out his dog doesn't even love him because nothing happens.
Yeah. And I also think, however, that this is kind of when we get to a major inherent flaw of this story, is that since it is literally like the exact same mask store, same cause of mask, it means that all of the same rules of the last one should apply. And so now it's either like have it be this whole like it is a symbol of love and you just totally repeat yourself, or you have to change your own rules and make everything that you're doing feel so fucking convoluted to try to have an interesting take. And by the end of the book, it's just like, I honestly don't even know what gets the mask off of him by the end of this book.
Right. Which is a great segue to that point, right? Because nothing works, so naturally they just sort of trudge over to the shop to just like see. I guess they want to track down the guy and see if he could help.
It seems like 50 pages because like it takes forever for Steve to get anywhere because he's an old man and he has a cane, and it's just all of this detail that just takes forever of like, oh, I tried to walk, but then I had to lean on a tree. Then I walked further. Thank God there was a mailbox. Had to lean on that. You're like, it's like if a dog wrote this. Like, it's fucking like you walked around the block and it's just like, oh, I saw a tree. Oh, I saw a house. Oh, I saw this. Like, it's fucking awful. I can't take it anymore. It's just like they get there. The window is still shitty and it's still closed. They go into the basement. They look through some boxes for no reason. Why is that going to help them? And Cardi B finds the costume that matches the mask.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, but to your point, Isaac, still doesn't explain anything. It just happens.
No.
Yeah, this is a whole new set of rules.
Yeah.
Like, set of, like, what the fuck is happening
Because
here?
what happens is Carly Beth stumbles upon the rest of this costume. So there's like a suit that belongs to the mask to complete the look. And when she takes out the suit, it sort of like becomes sentient and like quivers and stuff. And the mask...
It's almost creepy.
It is almost creepy.
Yeah.
Because it's
almost
a
creepy.
thing, as we've established, a thing that's inanimate becomes animate. It's upsetting.
Spooky.
But also it's stupid. Like the mask floats over to the suit. It forms into one. There's no like explanation of hands or feet or anything. It just like floats out of the basement.
No, it dances out of the basement.
And
is
yeah, I was
the
going to
word
say,
that they
using
use.
the term dance a jig is also, it really cuts the tension.
Insane. Totally insane. And also, yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I was going to say, and you know what they do after that? They're like, they laugh and have fun, and he's just like, wow, this was the best Halloween ever.
Yeah. That's what I wrote. And,
no trauma this
they
time.
laugh and the thing escapes and they don't give it a second thought. It's like, well, there's a fucking ghoul that you released into the world
With a full body.
yeah. It's gonna like wake up all its friends and gain full power or whatever. Whatever, I guess that's not their problem. And then like somebody else puts on the mask. Oh yeah, Chuck,
Because goddamn it.
yeah.
And he scares them, and they're having fun. He's like, that was scary. And he's just like, yeah, guys, but can you help me get it off? And then they all look into the camera at the same time, and they go, uh-oh!
Yeah,
and
here
then it
we
cuts-
go again.
and a big fart
And it
noise
cuts to
echoes
black.
throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we just get through our bad to get it over with? Because I think then we
I
can
have
race
some good,
toward
though.
our good. And
I have some good, though.
I do too.
Yeah, there's a couple things.
But I just want to get it out of the way because I know we have a lot to say, and so
Oh, yeah, true.
I want to get to easy street, just like roll through this.
We can do that.
Isaac, you're our guest. We'll begin with you. What did you not like about this book?
The entire first person voice that the book was written in, I found almost insufferable. It's just it really kind of hamstrings the whole ordeal because the book could be half the length, but he says everything twice.
Yeah.
It's if he wants to tell you something, he's gonna acknowledge that you asked and then tell you that was a good question. It's like
that's right.
It's like he's just like, you want to know why? Good question. I'll tell you. The reason is this. That I'm saying that I felt like a jerk. And it's like, Jesus Christ, just spit it out.
Like, why are you buying time? Like, what are you thinking of?
Yeah. And it's really bad in like the first 30 pages. Once there's a semblance of a plot, it's a little less sparse, but like it is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely insane. So I guess that's kind of, it's just like a very blanket statement of just like listening to him trying to have a conversation with me made it a tough read.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I wrote down a lot of those same things. Cool. Dave, what do you think?
Bad. I have on page 2 of 3. This is something he started recently where he said, like, people see us and they think that we are twins. And they're like, hey, you twins. This is one where it's like, people think we are best friends because we look the same. And I was just like, wow, does this town love segregation?
Yeah, you two stick together. You two, no, you stay away.
Yeah. Oh, wait, a black one and a white one? You can't be friends.
You guys don't look anything alike.
There was on page 15, he said, covered in a deep darkness. I didn't like that. I said, why retcon anything? It could have been way more interesting if you just kept the trauma and the fear. On page 20, Cardi B recounts the plot of the first book, and it's terrible. It's just like,
she basically reads the back of the first book
and
to
it's
him.
too long and too short at the same time.
yeah, this is like, so we know what happened in the past. Like, literally, the paper mache thing came to life. It was stuck to her head. It was a Dracula. It fucking sucked. And she says, the mask was evil, Carly Beth continued. It started giving me orders. It started talking all by itself in a horrible, harsh growl. I couldn't control it, and I couldn't get it off. It was attached to my head. I was so scared. It's just, like, I don't know. It just seems so underwhelming. Also, there's just bad writing still. Like, chapter 5, he said, up to the big window, and peered in the window. Like, those are two separate sentences. That's not... They're both fragments, and they're both just repetitive and dumb. On page 83 and 84, when he is having the dream that he never found the mask, he, like... You know when he's like, I felt my face. And it was my face again. Hooray. Instead, it's just like... I blinked several times, started the bright light, blah, blah, blah. It should have been a happy day. I reached up with both hands and touched the sides of my face. Smooth. My cheeks felt smooth, soft and smooth. I rubbed my ears. My ears. No spiders in my ears. I raised both hands to my hair.
Everything has to be said 5 times.
It's like, I put my hands down to my dick. This is my dick. And it's just like, yep, these are my thunder thighs. I should work out. It goes, like, through the entire fucking body. It's just a waste of time and space. On page 87, he said, then I will be a very happy guy, when it's just like, he's like, if I can get this mask off, then I will be a very happy guy.
Nice. Yeah, it's like, well said, buddy.
And then there's also a part where they add suspense because he goes to his sock drawer and the mask is gone, but he forgot that he moved it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that is maybe the worst offense in this whole book.
And not only
it's gone.
That,
oh wait.
And when he realizes and is so relieved, he lets out a long whoosh of air. All right, that's what I got.
I'm always whooshing. I'm gonna roll through my bad. I have a lot of the same ones that you guys have. So this ties into what you guys are saying, that everything is repeated 9 times and just sort of padding the writing. It says someone set a squirrel loose in the girls' locker room. That someone was me.
I imagine that he is a flasher. That's what he means by let a squirrel loose.
I think that's
wiggling
funny.
Around.
It's horrible. And Dave, like you said on page 3, sometimes people think we're brothers! Exclamation point. Isaac, as you said, page 25, unnecessary BS writing. It says, good question. The answer is ... It's like totally insane. Page 27, he says, talk about your long afternoons! Exclamation point. And on page 59, he's a hobo for Halloween, and I wrote that that's problematic. So what's our good?
Actually, I have one more thing I want to read that I just think is some of the weirdest dialogue.
Yeah, please.
It was on page 26. You were actually just kind of right around it. And it's right after he fell in the mud and Chuck comes to him, and their conversation is insane. It says, you look really bad, man. Tell me something I don't know, I muttered. Why did you do that, he asked. I squinted through 2 inches of mud at him. Excuse me? You look like Mud Monster or something, Chuck snickered. Ha ha. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, he just asked the question, why did you do that? Excuse me? You look like Mud Monster. I'm just changing the subject from the thing I just asked you. Like, it is like, where? And then he's immediately like, you told me to meet you here, Steve. You said we were going straight to that party. It's like, and then he's just changing the subject again. Yeah. It's fucking insane. It's like I was just like, these guys are robots.
Yeah.
He's laying in the mud.
That was last week. Yeah.
And he's like, how you get mud on you?
Yeah.
It's awful.
Isaac, what's your good?
Okay, good stuff. I like that early on page 11 or 12, they refer to Carly Beth as a good screamer.
Okay.
No, mainly the thing I like the most is I think right around page 69. Nice. I think that they, when he first puts on the mask and slowly goes through the process of actually becoming an old man, I think that was the one kind of new twist to the book that worked. You know, they tried to add all these new things so it wasn't exactly the same, and instead of just hearing a spooky voice or kind of going evil, it's his whole body is reacting to the mask. And kind of the way that, I could feel the skin and the mask tighten around my face, my cheeks burned, sour odor. I know he says stuff like that a lot, but he's just kind of working through these moments of not being able to get it off, and slowly, like, it's not his voice, and he's becoming this like weird old man to the point that he wants oatmeal and hot milk and like can't really move. And I think that probably that was like the most I think successful kind of pacing of an experience for him. And I liked it was like only like 3 pages, because most of these chapters are 2.5 pages long, but there's like that one like chapter and a half that I think is really successful. I like it a lot.
Radical. Dave, what's your good?
The Hogs are awesome.
Oh, I love the Hogs. We didn't even
yeah.
talk nearly enough about the fact that the team is named the Hogs.
And they picked it. That's great, and especially the point where just
Picking
like
their hogs.
you said, the chef kiss. It's so good.
Yeah, it's perfect.
The reason that I hated soccer at a young age is because I did soccer in like kindergarten or first grade or some shit, and he calls it chase and kick because that's all it is. It doesn't matter what side you're on, you just chase and kick the ball. I love on page 5 where they say some days Duck just fights. Like that is, but like then Duck Benton got into a shoving fight with Johnny Myers. Duck watches hockey games on TV with his dad, and he thinks you're supposed to fight. Some days, Duck doesn't chase after the ball at all. He just fights. I love that. Best character.
He just fights.
And this, I thought, was really well done. So, it says, whoa, what are you thinking about? Chuck demanded. This is when they're going down into the basement. You're not going down there, are you? You're not going to sneak down to the dark basement and try to steal a mask, are you? I didn't answer him. I was already halfway down the stairs. Just kind of like, already made up my mind. Fuck
this
you.
is already happening.
Yeah, this is happening. Yeah.
On page 58, this is not good writing, but I was really tired and I drank a lot of wine. And I read this sentence as this. My stomach growled. I suddenly realized that I was starved. I sat down, pushed the salad aside, and started fucking up the macaroni as fast as I could. I thought it was forked up. But and you're reading fast. I thought that was good. Yeah.
And the number of times in my life that I said I am gonna fuck up this macaroni.
Exactly. I love that. The nearly bare tree stood as still as statues was okay. And on page 93, the best few sentences ever, it said, my hogs, my first graders, my victims.
Jesus.
Which was cool. And then the other thing
Which
it said,
was cool.
He said, on page 28, he said, revenge. What a beautiful word. When I'm older and I have my own car, that's what I want it to say on my license plate.
What a freak.
It's good.
Also is maybe the most 12-year-old thing imaginable. Like
rules.
Every 12-year-old, that's like halfway, like, did you hear you could drop out of school when you're 16? I'm going to drop out as soon as I'm 16.
Yeah, I'm going to get a tattoo of fire that starts at my wrist and goes up my arm.
R.I.P. Chester Bennington. So my good... David, was that it for you?
That's
all
it.
Right. So on page 6, Isaac, you mentioned this. We kind of skimmed over it, but yeah, in the beginning, the kids fool Steve into kicking a ball of cement, which is insane, and it is a very like Roadrunner situation. But I do want to read the end of chapter 1 because it goes like this. Okay, guys, watch how a pro does it, I cried. I ran up to the ball, got plenty of leg behind it, gave a tremendous kick. Froze for a second, and then let out a long, high wail of horror. It's just very funny to me, the idea to like kick something and then shriek.
Yeah.
And that feels like the exact way that a 12-year-old would tell that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a lot of leg behind it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Even though I destroyed my whole fucking bottom half of my body, it was quite a kick, my friend.
I mean, absolutely, you'd go to the hospital. Yeah. On page 13, when he was recalling what Carly Beth's mask looked like, he said the skin glowed a sick green, which I liked. But then it's used again in the other mask description, but that's fine. And actually, that brings me to page 56 with the mask description. which I don't have to read because I think this is our intro. But it's a good description. I liked it. And there's also decent description of the setting on page 61. It's sort of a nice fall day. So it says it was a sunny, cold October afternoon. The sun made the yellow and brown falling leaves glitter like gold. Puffs of white cloud floated like soft cotton across the blue sky. They're easy similes, but it's fine. This is a children's book. So
yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Let's talk about our spooks, our best dressed, our alternate title, and Where's the Witch?
Where's the Witch?
Spook and scare. Isaac, when were you scared? Surely you were frightened when you were reading this book. So when was it?
Like I said, I think that maybe the most spooked I was when he first... sorry, there's something beeping in the background.
We will not tolerate this on Calling All Creeps.
Give me a sec. All right, it's clear. But on 69, when he is first kind of suddenly I felt so tired, so weak, so totally weak. Every breath was a struggle. I bent over. My body began to tremble. I felt so weak and old. Was this how an old man felt? Like that I found like unsettling, you know, and it just like this, like a young kid being like, oh my God, my old bones. And I found that to be sufficiently creepy.
Like Jack, right?
Like Jack.
Yeah. Like Jack.
It sucks that movie is besmirched by the name of Bill Cosby now.
Oh, is he in that movie?
Is that the only thing making that movie bad, though? Because I'm pretty sure that's a bad movie.
No, it's a good movie, and you're wrong. We'll talk about that.
Like when he tries to fuck his adult teacher, played by Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, but it's not. It's just he feels like everyone else has crushes, and no one will like him. So he's just like, I guess to be an adult, I have to like adult girls. So he has a cute crush on Jennifer Lopez. It's sad.
Yeah,
it's a sad movie.
Kids have crushes on their teachers.
Yeah. But it's weird when he's a Robin Williams.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, he sort of looks like Isaac's chest.
Oh, thank you. That means the world to me.
Isaac is topless right now, and his chest hair is really elegant and amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I could really run my fingers through it. It's incredible.
It does, and it's also very... It's even. It's true. It's like... Yeah, it's in like a pattern. It's nice.
I love it. It's a Rorschach.
I appreciate it.
It is. It's beautiful. Very symmetrical. My scare, I'm not even going to say because it's the same as Matt's. I know it already.
Do you know it?
Yeah, it's page 56.
I actually had when the body comes alive, the sentient dancing body.
Yeah, it's kind of like the end of Sleepy Hollow. Like gets the head back.
Yeah.
No, never mind.
No. Stick with it.
And now you have to do a walk-in impression.
With his spike teeth as he bites out someone's tongue, I believe is the way that movie ends.
Dave,
what's scarier, him biting off someone's tongue with his sharp teeth, or Danny DeVito Penguin biting off his nose?
Dude,
Batman Returns.
The black goop from Danny DeVito, it is... And that black goop has been co-opted into all the Conjuring and all that shit, and they do not do the black goop the way that Danny DeVito did the black goop in Batman Returns. That will always be one of the creepiest things I've ever experienced.
I could do a whole
life.
goop cast. We could talk goop for days.
Yeah,
in horror
we
movies.
could definitely talk goop. Do you know that originally it was that Christopher Walken wasn't even supposed to be in that movie because that was supposed to be Billy D. Williams playing that character as Harvey Dent, and that was supposed to be his Two-Face origin story of him getting tased in the face. But Warner Brothers didn't want a black guy as a main villain, so they made them recast.
Yeah, he was in the first movie as a
exactly
Harvey
more
Dent.
like Racist Brothers.
Yeah.
Also, Marlon Wayans was supposed to be Robin in that movie, and at the last second they got cold feet and fired him because they didn't want a black guy playing Robin.
Well, Robin is white, that's Isaac.
Yeah, that fictional character.
That's why in Goosebumps 3, I want them to have a black R.L. Stein.
Hells yeah.
With a big white mole.
Get Kevin Hart to play R.L. Stein.
Yeah.
I would want I would want Danny Glover to play R.L. Stein.
I want Terry Crews.
Terry
R.L. Stein making his pecs bounce.
Yeah. Just being all lovable and whatnot.
Well, maybe Morgan Freeman. Can you imagine him being like, at the beginning of the movie, like, hello, I am R.L. Stein.
Yeah.
Like he does normally. Welcome to my dead
He's
house.
he's like a pervert though, right? Didn't he get Me Too'd because he was like
Did he?
Yeah, in an interview he was like harassing the woman who interviewed him and like hitting on her and stuff.
Morgan
Yeah.
Freeman? Oh, that's
Yeah.
creepy.
I don't know.
God, I hate
too,
everybody.
Yeah, everybody sucks.
Yeah.
Dave, you were talking about
Everything's terrible.
like the mask suffocating you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that
Sorry.
too, for sure. I actually was thinking that until I came to the end where, anything that just like gains sentience and then escape. I don't like that it escapes. It's like when you like try to hit a spider on your ceiling and it falls and you're like, well, I guess it's just fucking in my bed now and I can't.
yeah. I guess this is your room.
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
I didn't like the transition from his good boy lungs to old man lungs. He couldn't breathe, and it was burning on his face, and he couldn't find a hole and couldn't breathe and was passing out. That's rough.
Yeah.
But on top
Yeah.
of that, too, the scare of him being free, if you watch the TV episode I've been digging into him at before we record, now that we have more time, and the original mask steals the body of the Dracula shop guy and is stalking Carly Beth throughout the whole episode.
Ooh, super creepy.
And if you think about it, like, that's it being free and pulling the strings, which was way cooler than this entire book, of course. But you have to think, like, this evil mask is trying to, like, take over your body and kill you, and now it's just outside, and you're like, best Halloween ever. Like, doesn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is scary. All right, so what's your best dressed?
Isaac, what's your best dressed?
I was torn. I feel like maybe the best dressed is that blue sweater that he had to wear for picture day.
Ooh,
that
yeah.
was on, I forget what page that is.
Yeah. Not important.
Mid-20s. Not important.
Yeah.
But also at the end, his mom shows up in gray flannel pajamas and curlers, and that
Hot.
sounds kind of hot. So,
hot,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
Didn't you say the mom in the last book? You were horny for the mom.
yeah, sure. Yeah, well, let's not
Isaac
investigate that
has
too
a
much.
type.
Yeah.
I'm going to put on a wig.
I looked up his Google and everything. It says stepmom. Didn't know. It's caught stepmom.
Yeah.
This stepmom. Yeah. It's crazy.
All right, cool. I respect it. Dave, what's your best dressed?
Yeah, that's all I got.
When Duck, my favorite character ever, who loves fighting, helps out old man Steve dressed up as a mummy.
It's good.
He's a mummy. That's cute.
Yeah.
He loves fighting. He loves helping elderly people, and he's a mummy.
And he likes to quack.
He loves the quack.
I thought it was weird when Steve kept showing up and he kept like pushing Duck and he would say like, your name is Duck and you're here to fuck. I just thought that was really strange.
I was missing those pages. That's crazy.
Yeah, he loves Kill Bill. Anyway, I would say the shop guy because he has a cape, which I probably said last time, but I'll do it again.
Still good.
Same character, same book.
Yeah,
Same
and
good.
there's
Yeah.
still no reason for the cape. It's just there.
Yeah, this book is like, the meme that's going around where it's like, I want Oreos, and then you have like, we already have Oreos at home, and it's like the ShopRite brand or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically this book. I'll make that meme and put it up. We already have Haunted Mask at home.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So alternate title.
My alternate title is The Haunted Mask, because it's the same book.
I love it. I respect it. It makes sense. Dave, how about you?
Kids Don't Respect Me by Old Man R.L. Stein.
Old man Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
Mine is Wild Hogs.
Damn it.
Winner.
Thank you. Where's the witch?
For me, two options. The caped man seems like an obvious option for the witch. He could be like a science witch, he's kind of like he's
like
kinda,
Anthony Fauci.
And he's I think that he could be like a science witch who is kind of in this like modern era of blending the witchery and the science into making these haunted masks. Another option is the dog, but the dog's a good witch that does not like that he's such an evil old masked man.
Okay.
Like a
so that's
Salem.
my other option. Like a Salem the cat,
Sure.
but it's a good witch.
Love it.
Yeah. Those are my two options.
Do you know that the guy who voiced Salem the cat wrote Paul Blart Mall Cop 1 and 2?
Whoa.
Anyway, as you were.
As you were.
Who's your witch, Matt?
Mine is, I'm just going to go easy street. I'm going to say the caped man because he's fucking wears a cape.
I'm going off the rails a little. So, Cardi B's mom, Mrs. B.
Because of the heads?
So she's making these heads, and the first one comes to life for no reason, and she's
That's
just like,
some voodoo shit.
huh. And she has continuously been making the same heads over a year. She's making an army of ghost heads.
That's a fair theory.
She's the witch.
She's
You
the
found
witch.
her.
Got the witch, found her. It's right there next to Waldo.
Well, what else do we do in this show? We give each other compliments, right?
I love your chest hair again. I know we're bringing that
Look
up
great.
again. But
Your hair
Means
looks
a
very
lot.
nice, Isaac. It's just
yeah, it does.
beautiful.
Rocking my curly
Yeah.
locks.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
My
It's been a
hair,
lot of fun.
my hair hasn't been this long since like maybe right after college when we both were all three of us were together.
Dave, it looks good.
Yeah. That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I graduated.
Yeah.
wild.
It is.
Isaac,
Yeah,
will you give
it's
us a
kinda
tour of
depressing.
your beautiful house after we're done recording?
Yes. Sure.
All right.
You guys, you don't live very far. You should come out for like a yard beer or something sometime soon.
Yeah, well, I'm very close to you now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say where
It's
I
very
live
nice.
on air. But I know for a fact that I'm like 35 minutes from you.
We always say
Hells
we
yeah.
live in New Jersey, and people get that idea. Can we make it canon that we live in Buttsville?
Yeah, Buttsville. We all live in Buttsville.
We
New
all
Jersey.
live in Buttsville always. It is a place in New Jersey, and it's the funniest
It
one.
sure
And we don't
is.
live there, but we do. All right.
We do live there.
We all live
So
in
that
hell.
wraps up another call creep.
We did it.
Thank you for listening. We're not going to kill anybody because why? We only have a few left. Thank you, Isaac. Is there anything you would like to plug?
Pardon me. Sure. I got a short film that I helped write and produce. It's called Bubble Butt. It's up on YouTube and Vimeo. Just Google it. Bubble Butt short film. We're really proud of it. It's weird. It is spooky. I think that if people like Goosebumps, that they'll enjoy it, and if they like this podcast, they'll enjoy some other aspects of it. And we worked really hard on it. I'd love for people to watch it, so you can find that online. And SoundCloud, Isaac Leggett. I'm doing a thing from quarantine where I'm just trying to record a cover song of one of my favorite artists every day, and I've been doing it for over a month now. And so I got like a big playlist up on SoundCloud and everything. So if you want to listen to some music, some are better than others.
They're
So-
great. I spun through a lot of them. They're really good.
And I think that's all. I appreciate being able to hang out with you.
Yeah,
guys.
likewise, man.
Always. Oh, is there a Haunted Mask 3? There is, right? Or is it just Scream of the Haunted
No,
Mask?
yeah, in the original canon, I think this is the last stop
There's two.
for.
All right.
That is such a good sequel setup with the weird spooky body floating away.
Right.
That should be like the big like Ultron villain for the third one.
Yeah. In the TV show, they Cardi B and Urkel throw their masks into the fire while Urkel's mom is like making them food, and Urkel's dog Sparky takes the original haunted mask and goes outside and buries it
I like that.
so it could live again.
Yeah, see,
So everything about that episode sounds
Yeah,
better
it's
than
way
this.
Oh,
better.
it's seriously watch it. It's so much better. So
I
much
definitely
better.
will have to check both of them out.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you want to watch the first one, you can listen to it with our commentary. which is
Hell's
recorded.
That's right.
It's on there.
I forgot we did that.
That does exist. That does exist. I only remembered while I was watching this.
All right.
But
That's probably one of the only things I haven't listened to of your podcast because I wasn't watching.
Totally
the episode.
fair.
in the original, in the thing too, you know how like her little brother who's like gotcha,
Oh, yeah.
like in this episode, he's like, whatever happened to that dope ass mask? He's dressed as a bee, and he's like, I want to be a killer bee. Give me that mask. Which is kind of it's kind of funny.
joke.
And she's just like, no, you don't want it. I swear to God, do never think about that mask. I got rid of it. And he's just like, why? It was awesome. And she's like, you're lucky you only wore it once. If you wore it 2 more times, then it would be stuck to your head forever.
Oh, that's how they explain it away in the show.
And then the mom is just kind of like, you guys are ridiculous. I'm a mom. I don't believe in magic. Secretly a witch. For sure.
Yeah, definitely a witch.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Boo dudes.